Hi everyone, this is Mary Jo. I am following up to something I posted yesterday. As promised, I wanted to share a story with you. Um, Clearly, I'm a storyteller. Um, I challenged anyone who saw my message yesterday, um, everyone to go tell someone in your life has been an inspirational leader to you, the impact and influence that they've had on your life sometime during this week. Like, I'd love to hear anytime this week how things go if people do this. And I wanted to share the story the first time I actually reached out to somebody and did this myself. So I had a professor at Notre Dame that was my groundwater professor, and he was also my student advisor. Um, I took his geology class, which proved that I really was not good at memorizing rocks. And then was in his groundwater class also as part of my civil engineering degree. And he ended the school year with the groundwater class, showing us a slideshow of a project that he did each year that I believe others at Notre Dame have carried on since, where they would visit Haiti for 2 weeks over the summer and go around to communities that didn't have access to clean drinking water and dig wells for them. So they had access to groundwater rather than drinking from the river, in which they would also bathe, launder their clothes, dump garbage, and it presented a very hazardous situation for them. And he showed us a slideshow of some of the towns he had been in and some of the experiences they had. And one of the last slides, I'm pretty sure it was the last slide he showed us, was a little girl in one of the towns that had been super interested in what they were doing and kind of followed him around and really loved what was going on. And it was a very sweet story about her, and we thought that was it. And it circles back that he comes back a couple of years later, walks through the town, notices, finds that their new well that they had dug 2 years before had um, gotten broken and no longer worked, and they got back to drinking water from the river. And they fixed it, and he asked about her. Where is she? Can she come out and hang out? And it turned out that she was one of the victims of the dirty water that they had gone back to drinking, and she had passed away shortly before that. And he turned to us and said, "You didn't come to Notre Dame for the engineering degree. We're not a highly rated engineering school compared to others. More than likely, you came here for the mission and for the service aspect of what Notre Dame believes in," which was very true for a lot of us. And he challenged us to use our engineering degree in some way that helped people do more than just put down a parking lot and dig a hole or design a building. Do more. Make something that impacts people's lives and can help them. And that always stuck with me. It was very important to me then that my work had that meaning. And I spent the first 5 years of my career working for 1 year at one engineering firm and the next 4.5 at another. And the opportunity came up to apply at FEMA. And that felt like it was the right thing. That felt like it met that mission. It was doing something that would be of service. And I applied. And clearly, as I've talked about, I did work for FEMA. I got the job in Chicago in Region 5. And once I was notified that I got the job, I emailed Dr. Silliman. I reached out to him and said, "I just want you to know that your words have stuck with me all this time, and I am taking a change in my career path because I want to be more of service. And I think that the flood insurance program and the mission of FEMA really sings well and really meets that." And he wrote me back and was very touched and humbled that I had remembered that and really held on to it. We got to email back and forth a little bit after that, but it felt really good to let him know the meaning that he gave me and the influence he had on where my career went. That I didn't just hear him and walk out the door, that I heard him, held on to that, and did something with it. So he was really struck by it, and it felt good to let him know. And it also felt good for me that it helped. It was a realization that it helped me really define what I wanted my career to be and what I wanted my work to be and what I wanted it to mean. So that's my little story about Dr. Silliman and letting him know the influence he had. Because without that influence, I don't know if it would have occurred to me that going to FEMA and working at FEMA was a different calling to in engineering. It was more about the service and everything that Dr. Silliman talked to us about. And his slideshow, his presentation really helped firm that in my mind and helped me understand what I wanted to do with that degree. So I encourage you all to please go tell somebody in your life, somebody who has inspired you, what that inspiration meant and what you did with it. I guarantee you that it will be so meaningful for them and really important. Later this week, I'm going to put on another post and just check in, see who's been doing it, see how things have gone. And if you want to leave me a comment here, if you've done it or if you're thinking about it, please do. And if you want to become that inspirational leader yourself and you're ready to find out how I can support you, you can always, I'll put this link in the comments. Click on the link, schedule a call, and see what I can do to help you get there. Thanks all.